vlog. I am very excited. I want to show you what I just finished knitting. It is this. It's very simple and kind of boring, but very functional. It's just this gray wool headband, but I'm so happy with it. So this is my first time. Well, first of all, let's try it on. I was very excited because I thought it would look super cute with this sweater. Yep. I was very excited because this is my first time attempting double knitting. So what that means is that this is basically a tube. So you can see, like, this is all double layered. You're basically like knitting one stitch, and then the next stitch you do it in a way that it knits it from the other side. So you end up with a tube, and then the two closed ends I just seamed together, but it means that I didn't have to do any sort of seaming along here, which was really nice. So that's another technique in the books for me that I didn't know a week ago. So I'm super excited about this. I'm gonna get tons of use out of it, I think. I mentioned in a previous video, I got bangs cut recently. They're pinned back today because they're a little dirty, but I thought I need to get some headbands, whether I knit them or sew them out of like a stretchy material. I have some scraps I could do that with. I basically just need a good stock of stretchy headbands so that when my bangs aren't cooperating with me, I can just pop them back. I'm going to take this for a test drive. I'm gonna go out to the garden, I think. I completely forgot that I have a whole bed of onions that I have to harvest. I completely forgot about them because they died back and then weeds kind of grew over the bed and I just forgot that they were there. So I need to go and rescue those before the frost. It feels really dramatic to be talking about that right now because it's still pretty nice out, but we did wake up to a 5°C morning a few days ago. And so I need to start thinking about what I need to be harvesting. Onions are one of those things. So let's go do that. I think they're gonna be very, 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 very small. I just had lunch and I made my absolute favorite thing to eat in the fall. Lately I've just been doing carrots and apple, but we just got a massive cabbage from a farm market recently, so gotta work my way through that, and it goes great with that. I just saute everything in a pan. Today I used duck fat because that's what we had, but it is best with tallow. And then we usually have some sort of leftover meat, So I'll put that in the pan. And then I put raw apple cider vinegar and a little bit of maple syrup, sea salt, pepper. So good. But I am like struggling a little bit right now because I didn't realize that that sausage was spicy. It was very spicy. Now I wanted to show you, I got this cute little bag. My boyfriend's mom just recently went back to visit family in Croatia, and she brought me back this really cute cork bag. And it's kind of a unique layout because you open it up and it has like 2 zipper pockets and then slots within it. I like a bag about this size for summer, but as we go into fall and winter, I really like a bigger bag that I can keep more stuff in. But I was thinking what I might do with this, I have all of my knitting needles just kind of like bound in a pile. But the one thing that I find really difficult, like I literally just have them sitting on the table here, is figuring out a way to store circular needles. And I know there's all sorts of things I could buy or make that could store them in a neat way, but when I got this, I was like, that'd be kind of cute to just keep them in there. And then I can also keep like my darning needles and scissors and like some spare yarn or something, so that when I'm working on a project, I can just pop this bag in and it doesn't take up hardly any space, and all my needles are in there. Let's see how they fit. I'm really loving knitting because I can do it just about anywhere. So I've been bringing my knitting around a lot, which is mainly how I get it done, is like sitting in the car as a passenger, obviously. Even like a 20-minute drive here and there, still get some knitting done. But it's interesting now that I'm kind of more in the flow of knitting, figuring out kind of the sort of system that you want to use for a new hobby and how you want to organize your stuff, and as you get more things, like where you're going to keep them all that kind of stuff. So, oh, this has slots as well. I can put my needle in there. So this is kind of fun. I'm going to try this for now. And darning needle can go in the back. It has card slots there, so I can stick my needles right in there. I actually don't have a ton of circular needles right now, so this will be like, I'll have to build up the stash, but for the time being, it's kind of nice because I can divide them with the like dividers in here, because I find this one's okay, but like the longer ones, I just find the cables being everywhere so annoying. And I'll stick my scissors in there. Okay, cute. Very minimal setup right now, but obviously, like I said, as I add to it, I can keep them in here. Good morning, everyone. It is a brand new day. I have a cup of tea, and I want to just talk about some of the things that I've been doing while I haven't been filming. So I showed you at the beginning of the video my headband that I knit. And basically, what I've been trying to do is learn a new skill, or like a new stitch, a new technique with knitting once a week, and applying that so far to very small projects that I can just get done in a week by giving it like a little bit of time here and there. And so my skill for last week that I learned was double knitting, which I showed you again with the gray headband. I might actually wear this today depending on the weather outside, because I think it would go really nicely with this cream. Gray and cream together. I'm loving right now. I didn't end up posting a video last week because I didn't film enough to get footage for a whole video. So double knitting was the skill for the week before that. And then in the meantime, this current week, I've been adding an additional skill, if that makes sense. So you're getting 2 new techniques in one video, but for me, it was 2 weeks. And this week, what I've been working on is my first ever attempt at color work. I'm so excited. I feel like color work is something that, as a fairly inexperienced knitter, even before I ever really dove into knitting, I would look at it and just think like, there's no way I could ever do anything like that. Like, it just looks so advanced, but I'm obsessed with it. Like, I've been fascinated by knit color work since I was a kid, basically. So I'm very, very, very excited to show you my first attempts. I had just been looking at like simple charts on Pinterest with like relatively small stitch counts in a square, because I thought that would kind of just be the easiest thing to keep track of. So the first one I knit, I loved the idea of doing, I have a bunch of like ends of yarn left over too, so I think it's perfect to come up with these little samples just to practice. But I have this green yarn left over that I'm so obsessed with. And then I thought doing a design in cream on top of that, I love that contrast. And so my first attempt was this flower design. Wow. Seeing it in the viewfinder makes me feel really good about it. Not that I didn't feel good about it, but like you can really see when I'm looking at it from afar and in a small screen, like it looks a lot more crisp. Because the one thing that I was a little bit not worried about, but just discouraged by, and I think it might also have something to do with the weight of yarn I used, but the design just wasn't really popping as much as I wanted it to. You'll also notice here I kind of messed up my border and had 2 extra stitches by accident, but it doesn't matter. After I did this one, I learned about yarn dominance. The video I watched on, it was just like an Instagram reel, was saying that the color you want to be dominant, you pass under your like working yarn. I don't know if these are all the right words, but in my mind I know what it means. And so I made sure to keep that in mind for the next project. But I also sized up my needles, and the other yarn I worked with was a little bit closer in weight to this. This is the wool that I used for the next project. This yarn is just like buttery soft, and so knitted, this texture was gorgeous, and I really wish I had more of this to do something that I could actually wear because it feels stunning, but I don't. So whatever, I will work on some more samples like this with this yarn because I don't have that much of it. Anyways, the next design that I did was this little sheep, and this is wet because I'm also attempting to block these. I understand that I'm not exactly doing it properly, like maybe this is a way that you can do it. It's just a tiny square, so I don't really care. I don't know, I just put them in cool water for like 15 minutes to soak them, and then I kind of just pulled them apart and patted the excess water out between 2 folded dishcloths, and then they dried perfectly, like uncurled and in the right shape I wanted. I'm gonna learn how to properly block things, I'm sure, when I actually make like a garment I'm gonna wear, but that's for completely another day. This was just for the purpose of me being able to see the full design and not have the yarn curling. So all that prefacing out of the way, I made this little sheep. Oh my god. Again, looking at it in the viewfinder makes me feel so much better about it. Like, I already thought that it was adorable, but this just makes me like really see the design in a crisp way. Oh my god, I love it. And again, this is wet, so this is gonna dry to be a lot more like dark green, like this, which dried, the colors were really gorgeous together. But yeah, it's just a little sheep and a fence, a picket fence. I feel pretty good about the like color dominance in this one. I think the design also just lends itself a little bit better because there's more surface area covered with the contrasting color. But the one thing that I struggled with in this piece, because there was such a great distance between when you change colors, was that I realized this as I kind of finished the body of the sheep and was working down. It did work once I wet it and laid it flat. It all did even out, but if these were literally just the tiniest bit tighter, it would have been bunching the same way it was when it was dry. So the one thing that I really need to keep in mind and work on for the next project I do like this, because I was really worried about the strands being too loose on the back, but I didn't anticipate what would happen if they were too tight. So I need to keep that in mind when I'm working on the next one. But in general, I love it. So I think what I'm gonna do is just keep working on like a square a week or something, or a day, I don't know, these don't take long. And then maybe on this wall, start like a cork board and fill it with different like little motifs. I think would be really cute. I shared previously my fingerless gloves that I've been making, and I think what would be really gorgeous is to kind of in the similar vein as this one that I did with the ribbing here and here, keep that, but instead of this section being a striped rib, possibly attempt to do my own colorwork design all the way around there. I think that would be kind of the end goal. The only thing with that is how comfortable would that be sitting in stockinette on your hand. I guess it's okay. I could go with this same stitch number and I think it would be fine. It's Saturday today. I have a little bit of time before I'm going out, and so I might just pick another random design and attempt another little square. I have some red that I think could be really pretty, mixed with, again, either white or gray. I kind of like the thought of a red and gray. So we'll see. I'm gonna attempt to do another one of these, or at least pick a design and get it started. And then we are going to a knitting fair today, which I'm so excited about.